Another way to speed up your work is with proxies. Now, the word proxy is not super common in the English language, but basically it means substitute. So it's a way for you to take footage that may be big and hard for your system to render and use a temporary substitute. Now, you could actually have After Effects create the proxy for you. Now, in this big project, I have a lot of stills. And you could see by selecting these that these are big, 2271 by 2052 pixels. That's way bigger than we need here. As you can see, it's 17.8 megabytes. So I'm going to select upper showoff.psd. You'll find this in the upper folder, in the Chad Stills folder, in the images folder in this project. And we could right click on a piece of footage, any piece of footage, and go to create proxy. Now, another one of the benefits here is you could shrink your footage even more. Let's say you have HD video. You could replace and have the proxy be either a movie or just a simple still image. So we have this big explosion in the background from Detonation Films, and we wouldn't have to have that for a proxy, for example. We could just have a still image rather than a movie. Now, this actually is a PSD file, so I'm just going to go ahead and under Create Proxy, select Still. This instantly adds it to the render queue, and then when you go to the Output module, click to open that, you can see the post-render action is to set proxy. And so after rendering this, it will bring it back in and it will use the proxy, the new lower quality image or compressed image, instead of your original file. Now you could also go to the render settings. Let's click here, click on best settings here, open this up, and we can change the quality. In the drop down here, you might want to choose draft or wireframe so you have a much smaller, easier to render proxy, but this is optional. I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel here. I've already rendered one of these for you. This little white square indicates that you are using a proxy for that particular piece of footage. You can see right now I output a ping file, and it tells us right here the proxy for this file. You can see the size here is 3.1 megabytes. Now if we come over here to this little square and we click it again so it's hollow, then you can see even the thumbnail changes to the original Photoshop document with the white background, and the file type changes from ping to Photoshop, and the size changes from 3.1 megabytes to 18.4 megabytes. So we can toggle back and forth which version of the file we're using, either the proxy that we just made or the original high quality image. Proxies really do a lot to speed up your work in After Effects. Keep in mind too that when you go to the render settings at the end, under proxy use, you could have it use no proxies. In other words, it's going to use the high quality original versions automatically. Or you could say, you know what, use all proxies or use the proxies that are for the compositions only. Or you could, of course, have it set to whatever the current settings are. Thankfully, use no proxies is the default. I think that's a good default. But if rendering's got you down and it's hard to work in your project because you have so many high quality footage items, then you can just go ahead and do a proxy render for them and use these low quality, low res substitutes while you're working. Then on output, After Effects again will automatically swap out the low quality versions for the high quality versions.